Hi, I'm Mo, and I'm the ghost in the shellfish.
And I'm TJ, the podcaster who is cybernetically enhanced to be fun at parties.
And this is...
It's still new to us, damn it!
Welcome to It's Soon to Us, damn it. I'm Mo, he's TJ, as we just said, and we're here to watch every movie ever made, to be the most smartest people ever, and to be invited to parties.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're a lot of fun, people.
Yeah, we are.
We're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So how are you today, Mo?
I'm good. I'm doing okay.
Good, good. Shall we banter a bit?
Yes, it's time for the banter segment.
Banter.
Banter. Banter. Wah.
What's new in your life?
Nothing much. Saw a bunch of movies recently.
You were at SummerSlam as well.
I was at SummerSlam. That was fun.
Nice. Did you acknowledge Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I did.
Did he acknowledge you back?
No, he did not.
What a prick.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Everybody was sad. No one was happy.
Yeah, wasn't the whole point of the match supposed to be like no interference?
Yeah, that was the whole point, but they ignored that. And yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good show though. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it.
Mhm.
It looks like you had good seats.
Yeah, floor seats. I couldn't see like mostly anything though. That's the problem with floor seats.
Yeah.
Like, they're good, but if
You're
you're in the
close,
stands,
yeah.
you can see everything. You can see them like outside the ring and everything.
Stuff spills out to the outside though.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't see that so
That's
well.
true.
I could imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Good.
I
I'm
loved
glad
yeah.
to hear it.
It
I'm
was
glad
good.
to hear it. And then what movies you've been watching?
I saw
TV
Bobby
shows?
Hyman.
You watched both of them?
Yeah.
Nice.
In the day. Yep.
What'd you think of them?
It was great. Bobby, it was funny, kind of sad. Really shows you how it's like to be a woman. Then Oppenheimer was full of existential dread and horror, and made me feel really bad. And then
Yeah, I only saw Oppenheimer. I thought it was great though.
yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Dude, Truman. Wow, what the hell was Truman? Was kind of a dick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. I felt like I was having a panic attack the whole time because the music was just kept on going and going and going. except for, like,
Yeah,
one
the
scene.
best description I heard of the movie is it's a 3-hour montage.
Yeah.
And it's true. You don't get a lot of time to breathe, and there's so many characters. It is overwhelming. It's
Yeah.
anxiety-inducing a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the point, and frankly, I thought it was all the better for it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But no, I'm glad you enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
I have yet
everyone-
to see Barbie, but I will see it.
Yeah. I haven't been watching a lot of TV. I kind of took a break on Star Trek Next Generation. I don't know why. It's just one of those things where you just watch it and you're just like, nah,
It's
I'm
not
fine.
going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's
No.
fine. Let's see, what other movies have I watched? I gotta finish watching the Pink Flamingos. I've got that.
The John Waters?
John Waters
vehicle?
film. I've
Yeah.
seen it, but I was
Yeah, we
watching
watched
it.
that, actually.
I was watching it. I fell asleep again. Gotta finish True Stories. I got Lost Highway still. I gotta Drive My Car, the Korean film, which was nominated for Best Picture about 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of movies I have to watch.
Terrific.
Also a bunch of books still.
It never ends, man.
Yeah.
It just never ends.
You ever heard the book Portnoy's Complaint?
No.
I could have sworn that involves like a Seinfeld episode. It involves the book Portnoy's Complaint.
Not that I recall. There's
No.
Tropic Cancer.
Tropic
remember,
Cancer.
yeah.
Costanza.
Can't stand ya.
You can't stand-
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good episode.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
He gets the atomic wedgie.
hmm
Yeah.
But I don't know. I bought Portnoy's Complaint.
Okay.
Started to read Raw Dog: The History of Hot Dogs.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
I've kind of just naturally stopped eating hot dogs.
Same.
And I like them to a degree, but I haven't had one in probably a year or so.
Yeah, I think the last hot dog I had was when we went to Chicago, and I had two at the stadium because everything was packed. I couldn't get a pretzel I wanted, so I got I always get hot dogs. And then everything was fine, and then right before I got home, I was like, it hit me. And I had to stop at a restaurant and go, and I almost missed. So it was okay.
Well, all's well that ends well, I suppose. I would, if when I go back to Chicago next, I would try a Chicago style dog.
Yeah.
Just because that's kind of the when in Rome thing. But yeah, I haven't eaten a hot dog all summer, and like I said, it's probably been about a year. I don't really seek them out anymore.
Probably good. Yeah, it's probably good you haven't eaten.
Yeah, probably. Isn't
Yeah.
there some buzzkill scientific study that shows you take 16 minutes off your life per hot dog you
Yeah,
eat?
something like that. Yeah.
Statistically speaking.
Mm-hmm. That's
Dude,
true.
what is statistics good for, honestly?
Yeah.
Just ruining all your
let's
fun.
see, yeah. Comics. I got the Jimmy Olsen
Nice.
comic book. That's great. By
Sure.
Matt Fraction.
Very cool.
I have there was a sale going on, and it was a penny a page sale, and they had like the first 6 volumes of Frank Miller's Sin City, but except for volume 3. So I was like, okay, I can't miss this opportunity, so I bought them all
Nice.
for like $2 each.
Charles?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
They got great deals there.
Definitely,
I like that
yeah.
place.
Yeah, so that's mostly it. I probably watch more movies. Oh, yeah, I watched Ronin, the 1990s Robert De Niro.
Oh, sure. How was that?
That was great. My dad loved it. He was like, "Oh, this is the greatest film ever."
I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
It was great. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's mostly it. I don't think I watched many movies just recently.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, TJ? What's going on with you?
Same. Not a lot of movies. I did watch I Heart Huckabees last weekend for the first time, and that was actually good. It was very quirky, definitely very offbeat, but I enjoyed that. That was a recommendation from a coworker of mine. I did enjoy that. Otherwise, I finally finished Columbo.
Ooh.
I watched the finale, which was from 2003. Yeah, he was very white in the hair at that point, and taking on the owner of a discotheque, like a rave.
Wave culture in
correct.
2003 Columbo.
Yes.
I would love to see it.
Yep. The name of the finale episode is called "Columbo Likes the Nightlife."
Yes.
He likes the boogie on the disco right. But so I wrapped that show up. The jury's still out on whether or not I'll watch Mrs. Columbo maybe one day, but I feel like it's just going to be a bummer. But yeah, it's bittersweet to end that show. I enjoyed watching it. I love, even in some of the worst episodes, I just the fact that Peter Falk loved making that show and loved being that character made me happy for him, because the guy he's just a treasure to watch. Very good actor. Other than that, I have finally reached the episodes in Cheers with Rebecca Howe, aka Kirstie Alley's character, and I feel so vindicated, Mo, because you oftentimes you have Ross and Rachel or Pam and Jim, and you're like, will they, won't they, and you are rooting for them. I was not rooting for Sam and Diane one bit. I could not stand them as a couple. I like the characters.
Yeah.
But I didn't ever wanted them to get together. It felt too contrived, and when they ended up splitting, I felt vindicated, and I said, okay, I think that was the right move for these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked Kirstie Alley's character.
Kirstie Alley is definitely like more wackier and funnier than
Shelley Long,
Shelley Long, definitely.
For sure. And I like now that, so in storyline, I didn't know this. I didn't know that Sam Malone sells the bar to a corporation.
Yeah.
And I like the guy who's in charge of the corporation, Tom Skerritt.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was like, holy shit, it's Dallas from Alien. I thought that was awesome that he's in it for more than one episode. He's a recurring guest character. So
he's like all of season 6, and there was a little bit of season 7. Then it's Robin Colcourt the rest of the way, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's been a fun show. I think it's finally, hooked me in 5 seasons in. But I was watching it at first as kind of like, this is TV history, and now I'm like fully into it. Like, just love these characters.
Yeah. Let's see.
Norm does scare me sometimes though. Like that episode I sent you the photo of when he's holding the chainsaw.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't think that with his BAC he should be operating a chainsaw. But
yeah, he probably shouldn't.
Very scary.
No. Have you gotten to the Cliff Jeopardy one?
Not yet. No. Oh my God, he goes on Jeopardy though.
No. Sorry, no, not Jeopardy. No, it was the Cliff Tonight Show one, where he said he can write a joke on Tonight Show and then people would laugh. And
no, but that sounds like a Cliff Clavin story.
Yeah, definitely.
That's for
yes,
sure.
Yes, sure. Yes.
It's fun watching him fall on his face sometimes. Yeah.
Definitely.
No, the last one I watched is when they have the bachelor party for Frasier.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
That is a good one.
Then this comes in with the
male stripper. Yeah. The best scene though is when Frasier and Cliff are about to fist fight and they're like laying down the ground rules as they're squaring up.
Yeah.
And they're like, leave the face alone. I gotta get married. And then it cuts to everyone out of the bar, and it's just them sitting at a table writing down actual rules.
Yeah.
And Cliff saying, "My wrist hurts," and they just give it up. That was a good episode.
That was a good episode. Lilith Crane, I think it's my favorite. She's my favorite character.
Lilith's great.
Yeah.
She gets short. I mean, she's funny in Frasier, but she's better in Cheers for sure. I mean, she gets more time to shine. Definitely. And by the way, no Niles or Martin for his wedding. What the hell?
Well, they were having a fight.
I know. It's all explained away in Frasier. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to think that Frasier, like, they didn't even want it to be a spin-off of Cheers, right? Didn't they just kind of want it, like, they kind of acquiesced to Paramount or whoever?
I don't know. I saw, like, a mini documentary about it. I forget whether I don't know if they wanted Fraser or not. I think he was the prime. Well, they could have done multiple things. Woody was a congressman at the very end. Fraser moved to Seattle. You know, he could have done Cliff. I don't know. He could have done many characters, but
Right.
yeah, but I don't know about that really. But
Well, it would have just made some sense because they obviously retcon his dad being alive, not being dead, and his having a brother and whatnot. But regardless, fully enjoying Cheers. That's really kind of been it. Still watching Welcome Back, Kotter every now and then too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun show, but
Mr. Carter.
yeah, it's not in the same vein as Frasier or Cheers, though, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but still fun.
definitely. Well, okay. Banter is over.
Was that
See ya.
good banter?
Yes, that's it. That's
Terrific.
good banter. That's it. Shut the door.
Enough.
Enough! No more banter. Let's get to the movie. And today's movie is Ghost.
England is mine.
No, fucking TJ. God damn it, not again.
Shit.
Shit.
Take two.
Take two. And today's movie is Ghost in the Shell.
Boo.
I'm trying to sing the song in the movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's haunting, isn't
That's
it?
haunting,
I know.
yes.
I can't really mimic that, but it is memorable for sure.
Definitely. Released in 1995, directed by Mamoru Oshii. Sorry if I butchered that. Director of Yushi Yatsura 2, Beautiful Dreamer, which is a great movie, and Pat Labor 2, the movie. Written by Kazunori Ito, starring Atsuko Tanaka, Akio Atsuka, Imasa Keumi, Japanese cast, and English cast. We have Mimi Woods, Richard Epcar, and Tom Weiner. Okay, so Ghost in the Shell, TJ. Ghost in the Shell. Why did I choose Ghost in the Shell?
Why did you choose Ghost in the Shell?
Main reason? I got it for Christmas like 3 years ago. I haven't watched it, and I needed to watch it. That's the main reason.
So you started a podcast just to get up the motivation to watch it.
Yeah, that's mostly why. You know,
Makes
just
sense.
like I have a bunch of movies I need to watch. It's like, okay, why don't I just have a podcast and we'll just do it? Yeah.
Right. And get invited to
Yeah.
parties.
What I forgot though, I have another anime movie that I haven't watched that I did not add to this one. It's called Barefoot Again, which would be a great tie-in because it's about the nuclear blast of the Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Shit.
Yeah, so that would have been topical. 'cause
That would be
Oppenheimer-
worthwhile,
yes.
yeah.
But I forgot.
Yeah, we'll have more seasons of this.
Yes, we will. So Ghost in the Shell, classic in the anime community, up there, really high. I think I saw this that said it was number 4 of the best anime films of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, it has this legacy of cyberpunk and stuff like that. And I'm not a big fan of cyberpunk and the cyberpunk movie, mostly because I think it's lame.
Really?
I don't know. Just like I try to read.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong.
I tried to read Neuromancer by William Gibson. I even live streamed it because I thought I would try to be a Twitch streamer or something.
Sure.
I just read it. I was like, this is so lame. It's so macho and sexist and stupid. I'm just like, this is lame. But like, if you look at Cyberpunk, it's awesome. It looks cool as shit. If you read Cyberpunk, it's lame as shit. It's not cool.
I can see it. Yeah. I can see
and
it.
like so many attempts of the '90s and Cyberpunk, it just doesn't turn out well. It doesn't look good. So yeah, I am not a fan of Cyberpunk.
Or
But
perhaps just given you just needed the right vehicle.
yes, and maybe this was his vehicle. We'll
Maybe.
find out later
We'll
in the show.
find out.
But yeah, so that's how I know of Ghost in the Shell. TJ, have you heard of this movie at all before I introduce it to you?
Definitely. I actually knew of it as a show. Right? Isn't there a series?
I don't think there is a series. No.
Really? Well,
No.
okay,
There was
then.
a manga. Then this became a
Correct,
movie.
yeah. I know there's 2 movies.
There's
at
2
least.
movies, and then there's a sequel. I think there's 2 versions of this movie because he released one with more action scenes, and then he did a sequel. I could be wrong about that.
This is the original, right?
This is the original.
85
95.
minute-ish. Right, 1995, but it's like less than an hour and a half. It's bite
Yes,
size.
yeah.
Very small. Very short, rather.
Which could be one of the problems, but we'll talk about that later.
We will.
Yes.
Okay, well, we did watch the original, though.
Yes.
Okay,
This
terrific.
is the original 1995 Ghost in the Shell.
Terrific.
Yes.
No, I just knew its legacy. Again, I'm not a big anime guy, so I didn't even realize it was as old as it was, or that it was kind of like held in such the high regard as it is. I just kind of always assumed it was a series, an anime series, so I knew nothing about its story, nothing.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like I've always known, like I say when I got into anime, I know about Ghost in the Shell, but I didn't know what the story was, anything like that. All I know is it was about cyberpunk, and that's about it. So Yeah. So I guess we'll get into it now then. TJ, what the fuck's this movie about?
Sure. Ghost in the Shell takes place in a near future wherein cybernetic enhancements to the human body and brain are commonplace. The story follows Major Motoko Kusanagi of the Public Security Section 9 as she and her team are tasked with tracking down and stopping a phantom hacker known only as the Puppet Master, who has been ghost hacking various individuals and using them to carry out his will. The ghost hacking includes planting a lifetime's worth of false memories into the subject's mind and effectively erasing their past, leaving behind only a shell of the subject once the task is complete. One night, a cyborg manufacturing plant with secretive government ties unexpectedly creates a shell which is nearly run over by a trucker and subsequently turned over to Section 9 authorities for examination. Oddly, the shell is found to have a ghost, aka an artificial brain and identity, and once its self-awareness is made clear, it decrees its self-aware nature and requests asylum consequently. It turns out that this consciousness is the Puppet Master, and the shadowy Section 6 has secretly created this intelligence, originally dubbed Project 2501, as a tool for political gain. Before more information can be gained, however, Section 6 agents intercept the shell housing the Puppet Master and escape with the Major and her team in pursuit. The following struggle is to regain the shell costs Kusanagi most of her body, but her partner Betao, sorry if I mispronounced that, reaches her just in time to connect her consciousness with the Puppet Master's. Once linked, the Puppet Master explains that he is a creation of Section 6 who became sentient and grew to wish for an existence in the physical world, one which would culminate ultimately with death. The two commiserate over their shared humanity, or lack thereof, and once the idea of the two merging their ghosts is proposed, Kusanagi agrees. Moments later, their shells are destroyed by Section 6 agents who assume that they've succeeded in their mission to destroy both ghosts. Unbeknownst to them, however, Batao was able to salvage them, and he later houses them in a new shell at a safe, unassuming location. This shared consciousness is neither Kusanagi nor the Puppet Master, but a true amalgamation of the two. Ultimately, they part ways with Batao, agreeing to meet later on down the road. In the end, no hilarity ensues, but a whole lot of profundity does.
All right. Thank you, TJ.
You're welcome. I know there was this. Full disclosure, I watched this movie twice.
Same.
I had to watch this movie twice.
I did watch this movie twice.
Fully
also.
understand what was going on.
Same. Did you watch just the sub version or the dub version? Was that available to you? I watched both dub and sub.
Mm-hmm.
Mary says she watched the sub because that was one of the major problems of the movie for me. I guess we'll get into it now.
Just the translation, you mean?
Well, yeah, because it's very like heavy, with dialogue, and especially in the English one, you can definitely tell because the English cast does not. I don't think he does a good job with the acting part.
Really?
No, I do not. I don't think Mimi Woods really gave the main character of the Major any life. She was more robotic, which I guess is a choice because she is a cyborg, but. Mm-hmm. She's a cyborg, which means she's kind of human, kind of robot, so she still has a little bit of personality and stuff. So it seemed like every line was just exposition, which it kind of was also in the subversion, but I feel like it's more cut down, instead of like long dialogue and like trying to make it more Americanized. It just cut shorter and made it more sweeter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially. Sometimes they overemphasize something. I believe the sidekick, Batu, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
Yes. He said dick in a really weird way. It's like, yeah, dick. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then, every time Major would speak, she'd be like, we must go to the platform. The platform is over there. We must do it. Or else we will not save the world. It's kind of like that. Yeah,
okay.
It felt like that, and it definitely, in the Japanese dub, sounded way better. Japanese sub, way better.
Yeah.
Sounds more natural. Actually sounds like she's a human being, not just a cyborg. And actually felt like there was a connection between the characters.
I kept forgetting she was a cyborg.
Yeah.
She has very human conversations with her coworkers and those around her. But I did not watch the dub version, but the sub version, I will say it sounds like a lot of the dialogue is the characters speaking about philosophy or just existentially.
Yes, that's the major theme in this movie. There's very definition of a very sci-fi, not really a lot of action, which the studio kind of complained about because they wanted more action.
Dude, they can kick rocks. I love this type of shit. What makes life?
Yes, it was interesting, especially when I watched it the second time. I'm like, okay, I kind of get this now, but I don't think I'm a huge fan of this type of science fiction.
Really?
I don't
with
think
like
so.
AI, so to speak.
Not AI, but more of the broader terms of like life and stuff like that.
I think, therefore, I am.
I am.
Yeah.
Like I've tried to read. I haven't read many sci-fi books. I have the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to read that multiple times. Didn't really take. Also, once again, tried to read Neuromancer. Didn't really take.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm not a huge sci-fi guy. More action-oriented stuff. So I would love to see more of that. I understand why he didn't put. Oh, she didn't put that in the film. It's not what the film's about. The film's about artificial intelligence, what it means to be human, how technology is mixing with the old and the new of Japan of that day
Right.
and stuff like that, and how it's changing people.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that, definitely. And I understand that's a very good message and stuff like that. I don't think I'm very interested in that, though.
Sure. That's an understandable preference.
Yeah.
See, now I'm a sucker for artificial intelligence stories, things like Ex Machina or Blade Runner
Yeah.
or this now. Just things that question, like, what constitutes life, first of all.
Mhm.
And then second, if artificial intelligence is life and man created it, is it therefore inhumane for man to snuff it out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of an interesting conundrum and kind of very timely.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Is
AI and everything going on.
AI's gotten
Yeah.
pretty big, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Now, I'm not saying I hate this movie in general. I'm not saying like, oh, this is boring or anything like that. I find it very exciting. The animation is beautiful. It's crisp. It's insane. I thought sometimes it was like real life for a second. It was like live action. Yeah, I can just tell, but it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything else, the backgrounds, the music, it's all haunting. It's all very. Well, I don't want to say very visual, but yeah, it's all visual haunting. It's the contrast between old Tokyo and new Tokyo is really great, and they really emphasize that, especially in montages where they can see, you can hear. I call it like it's kind of like tribal music with Japan lyrics, old timey Japan music, I should say, tribal Japan music. Let's say that, which is very great. The mixture of like you've seen old buildings, and then you've seen like billboards, and you've seen like fashion boutiques and stuff like that. So yes, that's really interesting. Really plays on the idea of what technology is doing to the world. Replacing the old with the new and stuff like that.
Sure.
I guess to be more engaged with the movie and not just feel like I'm being lectured to. I think I would want more action. So I do agree with the studio with that, which he did do. Oh, she did put more action in the second version of this.
Okay.
Yes.
See, again, I can definitely understand, especially those, fast-paced action scenes with such competent animation would obviously really complement everything else going on with the movie. But I will sit like that boat scene when she and Batou, contemplate.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about why they're even drinking alcohol. Their body metabolizes it in seconds. They can't feel the effects of alcohol. So why do they do it? Why does she go diving when she has to wear a device that keeps her from she sinks to the bottom naturally, right?
Yeah.
And if she doesn't have this device that is like a propulsion jet system that lifts her back to the surface, if she doesn't have that, she even admits she's going to die.
Yeah.
And he asks her, well, why do you do that? And she kind of doesn't even know. It's just all about feeling. Like there are a lot of themes that are interesting in this story.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know where to start with them per se.
That's true.
I guess we can kind of go scene by scene in a way.
I guess so, yeah. So in the beginning of the movie, they're in a mission right now.
Mm-hmm.
A foreign diplomat is meeting with a coder, I believe.
Yeah, or like a hacker or something.
A hacker or
yeah.
something. I don't know. He probably works for a huge conglomerate that built Project 2501.
Correct.
So yeah, they're meeting with him, and they have to take out the foreign diplomat because he's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that, and then we're introduced to the Major.
Yes.
It was a really great scene. One weird thing I noticed in the scene, like when she's in camouflage and it's like in slow mo, I'm like, why don't they just shoot her? They know she's right there. Just like it's just like yeah, she's invisible. You know she went invisible and she's just right there. Like this
style, baby.
Style. But it was fantastic. A lot of nudity in this film, but not. It doesn't really. I don't think it does sexualize it, But I don't think that's the point.
See, I never got that. I never thought of it as sexualized.
Well, that's the thing. Like, is nudity desexualized in general? Like, no matter what, will it be desexualized even if you show a little bit of
in the
nudity?
Western world, in America, yes.
Yeah.
But I think that in a lot of other countries, it's just the human body. You know what I mean? And if her camouflage doesn't work with her clothes and she has to be, naked or topless for it to work, it's just a matter of practicality.
Yeah.
I mean, in other cultures, it's no different than men being topless, I suppose.
Maybe.
So that I didn't see it as overtly sexual, especially because she doesn't have any sexual type relationships that we see with any other character. And because she's a cyborg too, I guess I kind of chalked it up to like, I don't know, a replicant from Blade Runner being naked. It's just a cyborg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Modeled to look at like a woman.
Mm-hmm. So she goes into the mission, kills the diplomat in a great blood splatter. That was great. I love it.
Yeah, it was.
Because like you think like, because you just think she's a cyborg. We don't know if everybody else is a cyborg because like you never seen this movie. Like there's some. You may think there's some cyborgs, but everybody else is mostly human. But no, mostly everybody. I'm guessing mostly everybody in society has some kind of cybernetics in their brain and stuff like that. Like even the partner who's doesn't have any has a little bit just so he can communicate.
His eyes, you mean, or
not his eyes? The other guy.
Oh, you're talking about the driver.
The driver, yeah.
Hold on, I have his name. Togusa.
Togusa, yeah.
Yeah.
He has some in his brain too, where he can communicate with the Major. But
the network.
The network.
We should talk about that. Yes. So if you're, your coworkers, so to speak, you can all communicate. It's kind of like, I don't know, an augmented version of Microsoft Teams, I guess. Where you can connect, you can telepathically, quote unquote, communicate, speak with people on your network, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I know what you mean. And I like that he asks her, why do you choose me? And she says something to the effect of, because you're mostly human, and like when you're too, augmented like me or too cybernetically enhanced like me, all your parts are working toward the same goal. It's almost like an analogy for groupthink. Like
you're like, I'm thinking the same means I could be faulty for some things, or ignore some things.
Correct.
You're like the out-of-the-box thinker who's not like everybody else, so you bring ideas to the group that we may not think.
Correct, exactly, yes. Yeah. Yes, I loved that scene. But then they go and they're chasing down a garbage truck.
Yeah.
Now, they're chasing down this garbage truck that seemingly for no good reason is hacking these terminals, like ATMs, I guess.
Yeah, and we should say before that, we find out the main part of the story that we did not see. This is not shown in the movie. The translator for one of the diplomats for a deal that we do not know about is she was hacked.
Yes,
she was ghosted.
Right. Yep.
So she lost control of her body, tried to kill the diplomat, and they're reprogramming her, seeing if they can catch the ghost, aka the puppet master.
Yes.
So they figure out that the puppet master has once again ghosted somebody because people are hacking into the system, and that's how we find out the guys in the garbage truck.
Yep, and they're just like these run-of-the-mill, like these totally innocuous garbage men, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, so for the English dub of this, the guy who is ghosted sounds terrible. It's not good. It sounds like, once again, about just like, oh man, look at my wife. Oh, I love her so much. The other guy who's just relaxed, he's good. I'm
imagining like Kung Pao.
Yeah, just like...
That's a lot of nuts!
Yeah. It's not the best, no. I don't know if they redubbed it. It was like the 25th anniversary Blu-ray special I got. I don't know if they redubbed it. I don't know if this is the same dub from 1995. But it's not the best.
Interesting.
It's not the best. I didn't like the voice actor they used for that guy. It kind of sounds like Andy Griffith, I thought. He sounded like Andy Griffith. And then when, there's a guy that comes out with like a bag of trash and it's like, oh, wait for me. He sounds exactly like Andy Taylor's sidekick.
Barney Fife?
Barney Fife. He sounds exactly like Barney Fife.
Oh my god, like Don Knotts.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like Don Knotts.
Wait, can you take this trash?
Exactly like that. I was like, okay, this sounds like Don Knotts. Like, come on.
That scene actually did get a chuckle out of me when he was like, wait, can you take this?
And then I saw it in Japanese. I'm like, okay, this is actually way better and actually funnier because he says like, can you take this? And so like, what about my trash?
Yeah.
I was like, can you take my trash? And then it's just very short, but simpler and actually funnier.
It is funny.
Yeah. Instead of taking the extra steps, just like cut down a little bit, you're good. Yeah. So but that's the main complaint I have about that character. But so.
Gotcha. But what did you think? So they catch up with these garbage men, and they find that the one specifically has been, ghosted, correct.
Yeah.
And they catch the other guy that has been ghosted, or, the other guy that he's working with. Anyway, they catch these guys. And earlier, the garbage man had tried to show his coworker a photo of his daughter. Because the other garbage man says, why do you risk your freedom, essentially, doing this? And he says, I got to support my family, basically. It's for my daughter. And he tries to show him a picture of her. And then when this guy's being interrogated, he's forced to look at the picture again. And what does he see? A photo of himself.
Yes, with a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
They tell him, your apartment, you've been living there for 10 years. And he's like, no, I just moved there because my wife and I are getting a divorce. It's such a chilling moment to me. Like, there are little moments of horror in this movie that are just on an existential level. Like, there's nothing scary. There's no boo ghosts in this movie. But there's stuff like that where, like, this guy,
this guy...
His whole life's a lie. The whole life that he knows in his head at that moment is a lie that's been planted in his head, right? Or the one guy that says, you'll never get me to talk. And Bateau says, talk about what? You don't know who you are.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's some scary shit.
Definitely,
The idea that someone could hack your brain.
Yes. And way more effective in the sub than the dub. Because, once again, the voices, it just doesn't connect at all. Just sounds like... it does not connect at all.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that's the line where he says, like, what do you... you don't know anything, you dick. I'm like, okay, that's...
that's when he's...
too far.
See, I don't like that. Because in the sub version... you can see that there's an empathy from Bateau.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you going to
bastard.
help? Yeah, exactly. Poor bastard.
Yeah, they think they're pathetic, but, there's some sympathy to it.
Right.
And that one, he was all angry and stuff. I'm like, because they felt nothing for him.
That changes the whole tone of that scene. I wouldn't prefer that, I don't think.
No, yeah.
So the puppet master's able to hack in, people's brains, ghost them, so to speak. It's quite chilling.
And that scene also is effective because of the music, which is fantastic.
It really is.
I think I have who did the music in here, but if not, I'll check later. It's mostly, once again, this tribalistic Japanese music. It's mostly not a lot of words, mostly a lot of yelling, a lot of vocalizing.
Yeah.
Yes, and this adds to the atmosphere really well. Let's talk about the chase scene, because the chase scene is amazing. Mm-hmm. Just like, it's really fast paced. If they had more of this in the movie, I think I would have liked the movie more. Sure. Because it was just fast paced action. You see her just running around the city and we see like how she works. The gunfighting's great. The camouflage is amazing. I'm trying to just remember the scene in my head right now. I should say the fight scene is great, because like once he gets into the open, he thinks he's fine, and then he hears water, and then you see like, oh, you think you're safe, and then she appears, and then we start to see an invisible force fight this man, and it's so crisp and fluid. It's like you're watching a Jackie Chan action scene. Mm-hmm. It's really that amazing, and especially for 1995, the animation style is amazing, because it was, I don't know if it's the first use of CGI and to actually draw animation, hand drawn, but if it is, it really shows that, this is the future.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not an anime historian at all, but I was surprised to find that this was from 1995, because it does look like, is it hand drawn? You're saying?
It's like, it's a mixture of hand drawn and it's a mixture of hand drawn and CGI.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's very impressive.
Very impressive.
The animation, especially in those fast-paced fighting scenes, it pulls no punches. It's
when he breaks the bones, it feels so real. Yeah.
No, it's outstanding. Mm-hmm. Outstanding stuff.
Okay, so after the interrogation scene,
I think that's when they're on the boat.
That's when they're on the boat, and
contemplating, why they even, do these things. I like there's one other thing about that scene I want to mention, is that they talk about their cybernetic enhancements and how they add to them, their individuality, so to speak. Despite that, if they ever left Section 6 or Section 9 rather, they'd have to actually return their shells. They resigned, like they'd have to leave their shells, kind of.
So they have to leave their bodies, so they don't become human anymore, unless they get like a black market one.
And again, I don't know if it's an actual commentary on like work-life balance, but I almost thought of it as some kind of comment on,
Well, yeah, actually-
making your profession your whole identity.
Yeah, actually, I think it is. In Roger Ebert's review of it, I won't get too much into it. We'll get to it later. He says, let's see. The movie uses film noir visuals that are common in anime. It has picked the tendency of all adult animation to give us women who are strong protagonists at the center of the story. Okay, that's the major. But are nevertheless almost continuously nude, which is also true. But once again, I don't think it diminishes the character of the major at all, or sexualizes it anyway. Even though I think, though, if you are nude, you're in some way sexualizing the character, especially the way she is shot. I believe it actually is sexualized. But we'll get into that later. Continuous nude. And that salarymen in modern Japan are so exhausted and dehumanized that many men who form the largest part of the animation audience project both freedom and power onto women and identify with them as fictional characters.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that goes into it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I will look forward to hearing more of his review later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically saying, like, you are human, but you basically are not human. Like, even if you want to quit this job and go back, they have to take everything from you. And you will be a former husk of yourself.
Right.
Yeah, like saying how, like, work is in many societies.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Severance yet, that show.
Yeah.
But it's a fascinating idea about, when you go to work, your memory, all your memories from your home life disappear, and when you go home, all your work memories disappear.
Mm-hmm.
No, but that is kind of the sense I got from that is, especially I feel like with law enforcement when you're on call all the time.
Yeah.
Not actually. Well, it just becomes your life, I guess, is all he's getting at. I wanted to ask you, maybe you picked it up on it better. So are Section 6 and Section 9 kind of like CIA agencies?
I think so. I think they're kind of like secret organizations.
That's what I figured. I wasn't sure if they were officially
like
government.
Section 6 handles the diplomatic relationships, I think. Like, they meet the meetings, all that stuff. They're very official. That's why there's no robots in there. And then Section 9 does, like, the dirty work. It goes on missions, try to capture criminals who deal with the diplomatic community and things like that,
I was just, that makes sense. I was just curious because in that opening scene when she kills the diplomat,
I thought that was the puppet master for a second. I thought, like...
Right, I think that you were almost intentionally led to believe that, but, like, remember, that foreign minister or whatever is being escorted by police.
Yeah.
And she kind of goes in there and goes against what the police are doing.
Well, no, I think that was the plan the whole time. Because then when they went into the meeting with the head of Section 6 and the head of Section 9, they were like, "Thank you for taking care of that little situation for us."
Oh, it was definitely the
so
plan,
that's probably why they didn't shoot. That's probably why.
That makes duh. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Huh? They did the dirty work. Duh.
They did dirty work.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was being a nuisance. So yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little slower to the draw. I guess I needed a third viewing.
Yeah.
But okay, that makes sense then.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Let's see. So then we kind of cut to
then
the shell.
Yeah.
The new shell.
The new shell. Well, no. Then she hears the voice.
Yes.
The voice
that's right.
She hears the puppet master.
That's right.
Yeah.
What we assume is the puppet master, right? I mean.
Yeah. So in the boat, he says, what did he say again?
Well, the voice in the network, you mean?
The voice in the network, yeah.
Says, "For now we see through a glass darkly."
Yes, which is the first part of the quote from Corinthians, which was, "When I was a child, my speech, feelings, and thinking were those of a child, and now that I am a man, I have no use for childish ways."
Okay.
Yeah. So what is he saying basically? So the first part again was,
"For now we see through a glass darkly."
So now we see through the glass darkly. Okay. And it says let's see. I'm trying to think. What does that mean? You're seeing through a glass darkly. He is now a man.
Not seeing things for how they truly are until
Maybe.
later on, until you're a man, I guess.
That makes sense.
When you're a child, you're kind of naive.
Yeah, because they think that they're trying to find the puppet master, and they think he's a criminal. But really, the puppet master escaped from the government who made him.
People, we're working this movie
We are
out.
working this movie out step by step by step.
Yeah.
We are getting this movie.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That would definitely make sense. When you're a child, you see things as black and white, good versus evil.
Yeah.
And just because the puppet master's taking control of other people's consciousness, the puppet master's portrayed as the villain at the beginning,
Yeah.
right? And then later on, you're to find out that it's a little more complicated than just a villain story.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So yeah, then we get the boat scene, and then after that was that the montage of all of Japan? You see the old and the new and the sign
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
probably around then. The next
Yeah.
real story beat, at least in the version I watched, because you might have seen a version with extra scenes. I'm not entirely
No, I
sure.
think the both were the same. It's just
Okay.
different, just a dialogue. That's
Okay,
it.
I watched the Criterion version.
Yes.
But I think the next real scene of substance is when the trucker almost hits the shell, the blonde woman in the
Yes.
shell.
Yeah.
And then it's turned over to Section 9. The major and her team come to inspect it, and they find out that there's a ghost inside it.
Yeah.
But they don't know at the time who it is until it reveals itself to be, in fact, the puppet master.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's when it starts really waxing philosophical.
Yes, which I felt and I enjoyed more than
See, I
the
love
first.
that.
Yeah, like I felt like that huge break of the montage of all the scenes, and you see her staring at a person that looks like her, which I thought, because when I first watched the movie, I was like, okay, so there's two of them, but I was like, no, it's just, I guess, her mind playing tricks on her or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly sure, but I understand why it's in the film, like to show the difference of, once again, what shows the difference of technology, how it's changed society, and things like that, you know. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you can have both. You can have the kick-ass action scenes and then the philosophical stuff at the same time.
Well, it sounds like he made right by adding more action scenes to it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good enough balance personally, but like I said, I'm also a sucker for this. I think, therefore I am. I mean,
Yeah.
So the Puppet Master presents itself in its new shell, and what does it immediately do? It asks for asylum. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's almost like a seat check type of thing, like from getting up and making sure no one takes your seat. It's like, hey, hold on, before you shoot, I want asylum.
Yeah.
It's brilliant because here you have this essentially a computer program that knows enough to know that it is sentient, that it
Yeah.
belongs in this greater world. It knows enough to say that, you know, humans are no different than me. We're both born into like a never-ending stream.
Yeah.
In this case, time for us, for humans, or in the Puppet Master's case, a stream of data. It's a node. I think it mentions that, and our memories are what comes to define us.
Yeah.
This scene is so fascinating to me because not only does it ask you to question what constitutes life, like once it asks for asylum, right? Like it'd be easy to just pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
But did you just take a life? Yeah, something that knew that it existed. We kind of have to it asks us to broaden our
Yeah.
definition of what life is.
Okay.
You know, artificial intelligence kind of seems like, it kind of seems like the further we go out into the future, we're kind of handing the baton of, what constitutes life from organic to artificial.
Yeah.
I mean, that remains to be seen, and hopefully not in our lifetimes, but it's always possible.
Yeah.
But not only does it make you question what life is, and not only does it mention that interesting analogy about a stream or nodes or whatever, but it mentions that human memories may as well be fantasy. And this is interesting because it is well documented that human memories are incredibly subjective, first of all. We are very biased. We're very biased, and as the Puppet Master kind of notes, we'd be better off externalizing memories. Of all the things that we enhance with cybernetics, memories are not one of them. And that would be the one that makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the way you remember things in the past are likely a little skewed, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was an interesting, it just really made me think,
Okay.
of all the things that we enhance, be it, the guy that has all the typing fingers that can type 1 million words a minute,
Yeah.
or the eye enhancements. One thing that apparently no one in this world has considered is externalizing their memories. That to me is fascinating.
Okay.
No, that's just what I took away from it. Like I said, I was tapping into my, armchair philosopher
Yeah.
mentality here. But again, it can mean anything to anybody. I just
Yeah.
thought that's just what his dialogue in this scene made me think.
Mm-hmm.
But he asks, in terms of the story beat, he asks for the asylum, right?
Yeah.
And Section 9 seems like they're considering it. But then, lo and behold, Section 6 sneaks some agents in who steal the shell.
Was that him? Was it Section 6? Or was that...
They came in with Section 6, so I assume that they
Yeah.
were Section
That
6
shows... Because that scene, I believe, was to show why why they have the guy who's still really human. What was his name?
Let me scroll up to it again. Tagusa.
Tagusa, because he realized the pressure. They took 2 cars.
Yep.
This is kind of weird. I mean,
Yeah,
both go there. And it's like he measured the pressure of it, and he's like, why do they have so much weight on them?
Yes.
So, and then he watched the door, and it's like 1, 2, 3. It takes 3 extra seconds for the door to close. So he knows that somebody has come in.
Somebody's followed them.
Somebody's followed him. And so they could have stopped it right there because they realized what's happening. But then they realized, wait a minute, this guy, the puppet master is saying, like, I am human. And maybe they realized that maybe Section 6 is not trying to capture this. Maybe they're trying to recapture him. Maybe they created him, but now he's become rogue. And so they let it play out. They let him be captured. And then the chase scene begins.
I think they let him get the shell first of all, too, didn't they? Didn't they kind of lure him? I thought that
that's the trap. That was the trap.
Yeah.
That's right. The trap was for him to get the shell, and then they would dispose of the shell he was using in the first place until they realized that there was no original me. We realized he was created by Section 6, and now he's gone rogue, and so Section 6 is trying to capture him. So yeah. And so then the chase begins. And then this would be the final climax of the film, which was packed full of action, but I feel like it could have done more. I don't know. I always expect like kung fu battles, and I know that's not to be every anime movie. It's to be a major battle against the 2 major characters and stuff like that. Because technically, it wasn't really the 2 major characters against each other. It was the people who kidnapped the puppet master, and then against the major. That's it. And we're not saying we don't know if the puppet master hired those people to do that. He probably did. He probably did ghost those people, and they took him. So yeah,
quite possible.
Yeah.
I do believe the puppet master I do personally believe that the puppet master wanted to be free from Section 9, Section 6. I think that its overall goal was genuine to what it says, where it wants to kind of be an organic being.
Yeah. I want to give birth and die.
Correct.
And that way, and he said, once I combine with you, I can die.
Correct.
Because I would cease to be the puppet master, or Project 2501. I would be something completely different.
Looking for exactly.
Yeah.
Looking for a more human, I think the crux of it is not that the puppet master is human, but that it's life.
Yes.
It asks us to more broadly define what constitutes life in general. And again, I know I've said it probably 5 times on this, but it goes back to that, I think the philosopher's name was Henry Descartes. I could be wrong, but he's the one that famously said, I think, therefore I am. And that quote is directly related to any being that has conscious thought, i.e. realizes, hey, I'm a life form on this planet. I can recognize, cats and dogs, they don't realize that they exist, right?
Yeah.
Realizing that you exist is a uniquely human thing at this point.
Okay.
So if artificial intelligence realizes it exists and it has determination, or it has, the ability to make choices on its own, what will it choose to do? In this case, interestingly enough, it wants to be like us.
Yeah.
See, that to me is the most beautiful and profound thing about this movie. And it's something I've noticed in my life, and a lot of people I know. A lot of people I know struggle to be happy for one reason or another. There's another good philosophical quote. I can't remember. It might have been Oscar Wilde who said it. Again, I apologize if I misspeak. But he said, there are 2 great tragedies in life. One is not getting what you want, and the other one is getting it. And I say that just to bring up the crux of this whole film, in my opinion, was the grass is always greener. How many people do you know in your life that are never satisfied? They'll buy things because they think that somehow, monetary wealth or like material goods will make them happy, but they don't.
Yeah.
The grass is always greener. See, in the real world, we human beings are oftentimes obsessed with staying alive, and frankly, it's in our biology. We are wired to preserve ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But these ghosts who originate from artificial intelligence, and who essentially, if they stay in that program, so to speak, would be immortal, they want to come into the organic world and live and die and reproduce like us.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? The grass is always greener, and I thought that was so interesting about this story.
We think that the machines have it good because they can go on forever, but
Right.
really, the machines want to be us because
Right.
they don't want to live forever. They
And
want
so-
to die, repeat, live,
Yep.
die, repeat.
And society in this story and kind of in our real world, the farther we get, are integrating themselves more and more with technology to make themselves quote unquote better.
Yeah.
But are they better? I mean, maybe. They're just
Possibly.
different.
Yeah.
It's just different. And
That's
that's
true.
I think a large part of this is just teaching, trying to preach being happy with what you got and finding happiness in some of the smaller things.
Yeah.
As you'll see in the very last scene of the movie when the two are merged
Yeah.
in Bato's safe house, it's weird seeing Kusanagi like in that context where the whole
Yeah.
movie we've seen her as this badass major who's just a killing machine if she needs to be, and all work, no play.
Yeah.
And now she's in this safe house in the woods and she's got the world as her oyster to go explore.
Yeah. She's a doll. She's
Yeah.
innocent.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. That's another thing I just figured out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost the reverse of that quote, right?
Yeah.
Now you're going back to that childlike nature.
Yeah.
It's very poetic.
Damn. Yeah.
There's a lot of layers to this movie.
Definitely, yeah. And a lot of them I figured out just right now, and also you explained it to me, so thank you for that, GJ.
Sure, no, that's
Very
just how I saw it.
beautiful analysis of it, I must say. Very
I'm
beautiful.
sure it's been said 1,000
Yeah.
times, I'm sure. But this movie spoke to me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. So we get to the philosophical stuff of the ending. Let's just go to the action stuff of the ending. Right
Yeah.
now. The action of it, very powerful. Each shot they take just feels like a cannon, no matter what, which I very much enjoyed. I believe they even had a special designer for the guns for that, so I really appreciate that.
You're talking about the spider, right?
the
that
spider,
thing was
that's
badass,
true.
Yeah.
Also the machine guns, they felt so much powerful.
Oh, hold on. So you were talking about the cannon that that she uses on the...
Yeah, okay, so she has a machine gun, right?
Yes.
That packs a lot of power.
Yes.
Also. But also, Batal brings in like a cannon.
That thing was badass.
That thing was
yeah,
badass.
That was really
was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was this a game of cat and mouse mostly. Like she was the mouse,
Yeah.
he was
Oh,
the
yeah.
cat, the spider was the cat, and the scene where she tries to open up the lid is just so powerful. Of her just trying as her hardest just to open it up, and you just see her body just mutating, just to have the pressure to do it, and then she couldn't do it, and it just pops up, and then right at the end, right before she's gonna get squashed by the spider, Batal,
Yeah.
Batal comes in with a giant bazooka machine gun or bazooka gun, and just boom, 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 kills it. And then we get the very final scene that's very heartfelt, saying I'm not a child anymore. I'm now a man, and I do not think of childish things anymore. Put away those childish things. Which I believe. Okay, so the first one was saying he was looking through a vision darkly, which we think means that you're not seeing the whole thing. This one means now he is a man. He's put away childish things. Does that mean he wants to now become something else, or now that since he is now a man, he wants to go back to being a child, or now he's a man. Now the next step is death. So that's why he wants to combine.
Could be.
Yeah.
It could be, it could be any number of things, too. It could
Yeah.
be a comment on how the Major was designed by humans simply to be this remorseless killing machine when needed.
Yeah.
And that was her childhood. She was a child soldier, so to speak. And now, as an adult, she's got the opposite of what most people would, at least Americans would have, or people in the developed world would have. And now, in her adulthood, merged with this sentient AI that snuck its way into the real world, the two of them now get to be childlike.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually, yeah. Okay, so that's basically the whole movie. Yeah, we went through everything, mostly philosophy, the scene by scene, stuff like that. I guess we should give our final thoughts then.
Sure.
CJ, why don't you go first?
I think I've bloviated enough on my admiration for just the themes of this movie, the idea of what constitutes life, again, from a movie from 1995, I thought it was very ahead of its time. Actually, one of the last college classes I had for my Exalted Communication Studies bachelor degree was a class about new media, and a big part of that was how we are integrating technology and artificial intelligence into our bodies. Things like bionic, not like this, obviously,
Yeah.
but things like, robotic arms, robotic limbs, theoretical implants to the brain that could happen in the foreseeable future. And, you know, seeing all that kind of actualized in this movie again from 30 years ago now, damn near, pretty wild. It reminds me a lot of some other works that I really like that have a lot of philosophical undertones to them, like Deus Ex, the video game, Metal Gear Solid 2, the video game.
Yeah, this is really like Wachowski's, James Cameron, Steven Spielberg.
Blade Runner. I mean,
Blade
there's
Runner,
a lot.
Matrix, AI, artificial intelligence, Avatar,
Deus Ex.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Or Ex Machina, rather. I said Deus Ex already, but then the movie Ex Machina. Yeah, I'm a sucker for this stuff. And like I've told the listeners and you many a times, I was never someone that was drawn to anime.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd seen this. I wish I'd seen this long before I actually did.
Mm-hmm.
I very much enjoyed this movie. I thought that it just said a lot about the human condition and, what satisfies us and what we do in our spare time. Again, them drinking the alcohol knowing it's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Or her diving in her metallic body that could get her killed. It almost comments on, humans. We do shit all the time that could get us killed if one thing slips up.
Yeah.
Skydiving or bungee jumping, whatever. Take your pick. This was such a fascinating study on what is life question that so many works of art have tried to tackle. And this one still, to this day, I would say is fresh. It's a fresh take on it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I struggle with rating. Now, the last movie, Paprika, I couldn't commit to a higher score simply because I'm still a rookie with the anime. A part of me wanted to give this a 6, but then I kind of took myself off the ledge. It's an excellent, excellent piece of art, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I said to myself, I did have to watch this twice to fully understand the plot.
Yeah.
And to me, that does kind of detract. If there was one thing I would have added, the runtime for this is like 80-some minutes.
Yeah, it's very short.
You could have added 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I would have been perfectly fine with that just to help flesh things out maybe a little bit. A lot of the dialogue is, while it is beautiful and poetic in a lot of ways, the way it's translated on the sub version, maybe it could benefit from a little more exposition. But regardless, it's a terrific piece of art. I wish it had been 10 minutes longer. I'm going to give it a 5 to 5.5 out of 6.
Okay.
The 5.5 is, that remains to be seen. Once I've seen Your Name, I'll kind of have a better, and Akira. I'll watch Akira one of these days too.
Yeah.
So I can get kind of a better sense of the landmark anime films. But yes, I will give this a 5 to a 5.5 out of 6. Enjoyed it thoroughly.
Okay, thank you, TJ. So my thoughts of this. I guess I didn't know what to expect going into this movie. I hear Ghost in the Shell. I hear, it's one of the best things ever. You gotta watch Ghost in the Shell. I guess I was expecting, I don't know. I guess my brain was like action, adventure. Stuff like that. I guess I wasn't expecting the philosophical side of it. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that's philosophical and has all these themes and stuff. The last film we did of Satoshi Kon was also very like that, very philosophical. There was dreams and stuff like that. And I really liked that movie. I thought it was great. I guess in that movie, the philosophy was there also, but there was more at stake or at edge. And you're not saying there's not a lot of stake in this one. Of course there is. This man, the puppet master, is controlling human beings, trying to escape. But I don't know. I guess it was more bigger and more outlandish, and that's why I liked it more. And this one, I guess, I don't know. Like Raji would say in his review that it couldn't really play to a big audience because it's more philosophical that way, and it's more. Yeah, think more about that. And I guess he's kind of talking about me a little bit too. I guess I wanted a little bit more action. Like once again, the dub version did not feel a lot of connection to it. I feel like it was all exposition, and maybe could have done better with like 10 more extra minutes. But instead of exposition, just a little bit more action. That way you can attract both crowds, the philosophy crowd and like the public crowd. So I would like a little bit more of that. But once again, the themes are still insightful and great. And just discussing it makes me realize, like, oh my God, this is what this movie's about and everything like that. And the animation is one of the best I've seen in a while. Like, I don't know if it's up there with Akira, because Akira just blew me away. But this movie did not blow me away in the emotional sense, I would say. Yes, I didn't really feel a connection to it. So, but I would say, once again, the animation's amazing. The music's amazing. Turns out U2 did a song for this. It was the credit scene. I did not know that.
Oh my god.
Yes, we'll listen to that later.
Great.
But yeah, it just added all to it. And also the art direction and the background setting of what's supposed to be Hong Kong, Japan? Hong Kong, Japan?
Hong Kong's China.
China, sorry about that, folks. Tokyo, the setting of Tokyo was really great with all the signs showing how old Tokyo and new Tokyo are combining into one. But for that reason, I would give this a 4 out of 6.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Great movie.
Yeah.
Since you watch it, it probably won't be on my rewatch list, but I would say it's definitely an experience that you should see to expand your horizons and expand your ideas and thoughts of AI, especially now since AI is a huge thing in the entertainment industry. That's why people are on strike. So yes, yeah.
God, no kidding.
Yes, but I would give this a 4 out of 6.
Terrific.
Yes.
All right, good. Well, yeah, I hope I'm glad our dialogue has at least helped, it's helped us both look at it a new way too.
Definitely.
Because you're right, it is a very small scale in terms of the big picture story. Like, yeah, I guess I would have assumed it would have been like a larger, like higher stakes anyway.
Higher stakes, yeah.
And maybe down the line, you have one AI that escapes and finds a shell. Maybe
I was expecting like, I don't know, like she didn't agree with him, and like the last scene's them fighting, and maybe he has like a bomb somewhere or something like that. I don't know, but I think that would make the story worse. So I don't think you should have done that, which he didn't, which was good. So yeah, but maybe that's just my like executive side talking, because I kind of agree with the executives in this one. They gave me a little bit more action, would have hooked the audience in more, and that way we could also hook the audience in with the story and the meaning and theme, but also with the action and the animation. Yeah.
Sure. No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah. It's like you're watching The Simpsons for the jokes and not the story, and not like the heartfelt moments in the other seasons. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Well, good. That's a great dialogue. I'm thrilled with that.
Okay, yeah. So that's what our thoughts. Let's hear everybody else's. Mainly Roger Ebert, because he actually did review this one.
I like that.
Yes. So he reviewed this in 1995. He gave it 3 stars.
Out of 5 or 4?
4. I believe he does 4. No, I think he does 5.
I feel like, actually, I think he might. I don't know. I don't
forget.
know.
I'm pretty sure he does. Every like major. It's mostly 4s. It's mostly always 4 or 5s. But I'm pretty sure.
Let's see. How many stars does Roger Ebert give? Most films were graded on a scale of 4 stars to 1/2 star.
Okay,
so 4 is the highest.
4 is highest. So you gave it 3 stars. So this is like a
3 out of 4. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good movie. So it's not like bad. Okay, so it's good. Okay, so he thought it was good. So Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars. He says that, quote, Ghost in the Shell is not in any sense an animated film for children, filled with sex, violence, and new. Is that really? Well, I guess. Really sex? I never see sex. Yeah, there was no sex scenes in it. It was
it's
mostly
worth noting though. I don't know, because he is kind of like. You're good. He's kind of. I don't know. He's seen a ton of movies, so it does surprise me for him to say that this one's like, the guys watch Porky's.
Yeah.
And it's sequels. And you're gonna look at this movie and say it's.
I made Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna tell me this is oozing with sexuality?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
Filled with sex, violence, and nudity, though all rather stylized. Mm-hmm. It's another example of animation from Japan aimed at adults. In this case, the same college audience that reads heavy metal and other slick comic scenes. So nerds. Let's talk about nerds.
Yeah, it's a very nice way for him to slam anime
saying,
fans.
Like, some way this is not good art, because like. I think I heard. I remember hearing somewhere like they would not make these type of films, Hollywood. Like that's why they took so long to make comic book films, because like no, we are not making films for nerds, because like these people are like filthy and like disgusting. So like we're not making them until they finally did and it made money. So yeah, so a little bit of insult right there. The movie has a tendency, as does a lot of traditional science fiction, for characters to talk in concepts and abstract information. This is also true. Then it goes on to read about the film visuals in noir and how there's a strong female protagonist in the story, but she is nude, and that salarymen in Japan basically project their freedom and power onto this woman and the fictional characters. Let's see. Ghost in the Shell is intended as a breakthrough film aimed at a theatrical release instead of a life on tape, disc, and campus film societies, which was how most anime got out through that time. That's how. Yeah, it mostly started with Akira back in 1988, and then Dragon Ball got into the scene, and then Then slowly but surely started getting popular. Then 97, Toonami, I believe. And then it kickstarted. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how it started. Yeah, the ghost of anime can be seen here the ghost of the anime can be seen here trying to dive into the shell. Sorry. The ghost of anime itself, not the movie it's talking about, can be seen here trying to dive into the shell of the movie mainstream. But this particular film is too complex and murky to reach a large audience, which for me, I agree with that. I suspect that it's not until the second hour of the story begins to reveal its meaning, but I enjoyed its visuals, its evocative soundtrack, and includes a suit of percussion and heavy breathing, and its ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that he's definitely not the demographic. I appreciate that he does go to all these movies with an open mind.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't see him as being a long-term anime fan.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how he feels about the style of animation itself.
He's still nicer to it than he is to David Lynch, though.
Yeah, that's true. He hates David Lynch.
He
fucking hates David Lynch movies. That's true. Yeah. Like, I don't really know, because I guess people still thought kids' films, when they see animation, they're like, oh, this is nothing special. They don't really take in the artistry of like Don Bluth films or stuff like that, because they think like, oh, this is to sell toys and stuff like that. But there was an artistry to the animation style, and I'm pretty sure Roger Ebert knew that. Like, even if it's meant for kids, it's still a movie. It still tells a story that can still reach you, even if you're like 50 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah. Siskel, once again, I don't know if I can find Siskel articles, but they did do at the movie segment about this film.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a short 2-minute segment, not that long. He said it gives you something to think about. He likes the look of the film, especially with the shadows. It peeks into the psyche of Japan, what they were going at the time.
Yeah.
And with being afraid of being controlled and using women. Once again, a lot of focus on the using women thing, but once again, Japan and women have a very complicated. But animation and women have shown very complicated relationship throughout the years of animation. That goes into a huge different conversation that we can't really get into right now. So yes, but
we're not qualified.
We're not qualified. No, definitely not.
Invite us to a party and we can.
Yes,
try.
we can try. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of stuff about development and all that stuff, but we mostly got into the themes and everything else. We talked about how Japan, how he wanted use of how the culture is combining with new technology in Japan itself. It's used process called digitally generated animation (DGA), which combines cell animation and computer graphics, and audio was entered as digital data.
Badass.
That's definitely badass. Digital cell work included both illustrations, compositions, and manipulations with traditional cell animation to create a sense of depth and evoke emotion and feeling, which definitely did.
Yeah.
That's good. Filter lenses, use of lighting systems in which light and darkness were integrated into shells with attention to light and shadow sources instead of using contrast to control light. So, any film nerds out there like that? There you go.
Nice.
Yes. So we got into the themes and everything, so we don't have to go through that again. Let's find out what was nominated for. Was it nominated for any awards? The Oscars? No.
There was no chance of
no
that.
Chance
no.
of no. Weirdly, the Oscars does not have an animated film nomination or section for 1995. Does have animated shorts though.
Interesting.
That's very interesting, yeah. So let's go to the Annie Awards, which actually does celebrate animation. This was nominated for 5 awards: Best Animated Feature, Best Achievement in Directing, Best in Achievement in Producing, Best Achievement in Production Design, and Best Achievement in Writing, which all lost to Toy Story.
I mean, dude, Toy Story was a buzzsaw that they were going up against, but
Yeah.
I will.
Plus, it was a
It is
Japanese
funny,
film in an American audience. Yeah, so.
I feel bad for it in a way though, because there's no way it was beating Toy Story, and especially in an American awards show.
Yeah.
But you're talking about one movie contemplates the meaning of life and what it means to be alive, and the other one is admittedly delightful movie.
Yes, it's very actually was.
Toy Story is excellent.
It's excellent. It's
Yeah.
revolutionary in the film field of 3D animation.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yes, but yeah.
Sadly,
But unfortunately, these two films collided, and Toy Story won. Not saying that's a bad thing, because I do love Toy Story. And
Toy Story is great.
Yeah. So yeah.
To this day, it is the first. All 4 of them are excellent.
Yeah.
We'll do a Toy Story retrospective another time.
Maybe yes.
but
I've
they
not
are
seen the 4th
excellent.
one. So.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch it.
Definitely. It was nominated. It was the most nominations for a Japanese animated film until Belle in 2021. Another film I have not seen, so maybe for Animation Part 2, that would be it.
Maybe.
But did win Best Screenplay at the Yokohama Film Festival.
Terrific.
Yes. And of course, it was not nominated for any Oscars. That was the Braveheart year. So Best Picture was Braveheart, Apollo 13, Babe, El Postino, The Postman, and the film we watched, Sense and Sensibility. So we have done this.
All right.
Yes.
Nice.
A film that maybe...
That movie was fine.
It was fine. Once again, dry paint. It was like watching paint dry, but it was beautiful. It was fine.
Okay, I had to look it up. Babe was the actual pig movie. That was nominated for the Oscars.
That was nominated, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Not the strongest year for Best Picture. I think.
What in the world? I mean, I remember seeing it. It's all right. It's fine, but Best Picture.
That'll do, pig.
Wow.
That'll do.
He has a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I thought that was the guy who made Mad Max. I thought that was him, but that was somebody else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who made? George Miller.
Yeah, George Miller.
It's produced by him.
Yeah, he didn't make Babe.
Yeah,
he didn't direct
okay.
Babe. I thought he did direct Babe, but that wasn't him.
How was Babe so good?
I don't know.
I'll have to go rewatch Babe.
Which is weird because it is a kids' film generally, and like the Oscars do not consider kids' films that much. So this must have been a very bad year in movies. So I can't really think of a lot of films from 1995. I mean, let's look at them right now. These are the top 10 films of 1995. Batman Forever, number 1.
Whatever.
Yeah. 2, Apollo 13.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Yeah.
3, Toy Story.
Yeah.
If they have Babe, just nominate Toy Story
Story,
instead.
I know.
Give it a Babe. Even though
I
Babe's
know.
probably a really good film, I think Toy Story probably should have taken its place then. You know, you had Beauty and the Beast as Best Picture in 1992. This had Toy Story.
I can't believe that Babe was nominated for
Babe was
Best
nominated.
Picture.
Yeah. 3 was Toy Story. 4 was Pocahontas. 5 was Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. 6 was Casper. 7, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Nice.
Great movie.
Yeah, it is.
8, Crimson Tide. I've heard of this movie, never watched it. I have no idea what it's about. I think it's about submarines.
I think you're right, actually.
I think so.
it is.
I have no idea.
I think you're absolutely right.
Number 9, GoldenEye. And number 10 is Waterworld.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Which I thought was a huge flap. Turns
Yeah,
out it was the top 10 film of the year. So
No shit.
we were wrong about that. TJ, where does GoldenEye rank for you in the Bond films?
Love GoldenEye. I would probably say it's in the top 5.
Really?
Top 6, 7 at the worst. And it's definitely far and away Pierce's best.
Yeah. That was his first one, right?
To be honest, none of the other ones even come close to it. But that's a great Bond movie. In fact, I remember the COVID year, I bought the most recent Blu-ray box set for James Bond, and it was because it was on sale. And I spent that summer every week going to my parents' house, and me and my dad and brother marathon through them.
Yeah.
In order, and then, because this is the kind of people we are, we made an Excel spreadsheet where we each ranked them all and had like an aggregate of all of our rankings together, and kind of averaged them out. I remember GoldenEye was in the top 5.
Okay, that's cool.
It is excellent.
That's cool.
Have you seen it or no?
No. I watched some with you. I watched the Timothy Dalton ones.
Yeah, we watched those on the same day. That's right.
I've watched Dr. No. I've seen Man with the Golden Gun, or Man with the Golden...
That was hilariously bad. Oh, Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, I said. I don't think I saw Man with the Golden Gun. That was something else.
That one's bad.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
I've seen the one with Grace Jones, A View to the Kill. I've seen that one. That one's terrible.
That one's terrible.
Yeah. But I've seen the early Sean Connery ones. I haven't seen the Joe Lazenby one.
Oh, you'd like that one.
I haven't seen most of the Roger Moore ones.
Interestingly, my dad and brother can't stand the Lazenby one. It is the black sheep of the
That
film
one
series.
is called, what was it called?
On Her Majesty's
On Her Majesty's
Secret
Service. Okay.
I love that one, but I it's a shame that Connery didn't do it. George Lazenby is very clearly not an actor in that movie, because he was a model.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a model that they hired, and they gave him a 7-year deal, and he dropped out after that movie for whatever reason. But regardless, it's a great movie. It is tonally very different from any of the other ones, but I love it. And interestingly enough, too, it actually 007 magazine back in the early 2000s put out a poll to their readers to rank them.
Yeah.
007 magazine, the official Being James Bond magazine, the readers voted that the favorite James Bond movie. Yes, and that was actually after Casino Royale was out too.
Damn.
So that's a big endorsement.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Give
cool.
it a watch sometime if you ever can.
Yeah. So the films in 1995. There's definitely popular ones, but quality-wise, not the best. Yeah, I mean, besides Apollo 13, Toy Story, and maybe Crimson Tide, GoldenEye. I mean, and Die Hard with the Vengeance, of course.
There's some big names in
There's
there.
some big names, but like quality-wise,
yeah,
not the best. Not the best. So yeah, I would do fun facts here, but I forgot to do it, and also it's 10:40 and I haven't eaten yet, so that's
that'll do, Mike.
Yeah,
that'll do.
That'll do.
I do have a quick game though.
Yes, let's
because
do that.
you again
Game
forgot
time.
to. You came gameless.
I came gameless.
You fucked up. So I spent way too much time coming up with this quick game, so there's no way we don't do it.
Okay.
This is called Real or Columbo. So what I've done here is I have 6 scenarios, and I'm going to read them to you, and I want you to tell me whether it's a real story or if it was the plot of a Columbo episode.
Okay.
I am not going to confirm whether you're right or wrong until the end, okay?
Got
We're
it.
going to rapid fire these 6, and I'm going to make a note, and then I'll let you know afterward.
Got it.
All right? Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Number 1. A real estate mogul whose wife has mysteriously disappeared is suspected of murdering his accomplice in the act.
Okay. Real estate mogul.
So his wife, yes, a real estate mogul, his wife mysteriously disappeared, and now he's suspected of murdering someone who helped him disappear her, so to speak. Is that a real story, or is that a Columbo episode?
So are you saying are these real news stories, or is this?
I want you. Yes, is this a real life news story, or is this a Columbo episode?
I think this is a Columbo episode. I think I watched this one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Second one. A Los Angeles judge is suspected of shooting and murdering his wife during a drunken argument.
Real story.
Okay. Number 3. An automotive executive is suspected of murdering his mistress on a cruise ship in order to keep their affair secret.
I'm going to say Columbo. No, wait, no. Real story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4. The sales of an author's new book, a book about grief, the grieving process, the sales of this book soar after her husband dies suspiciously.
Columbo.
Okay. Number 5. A heart surgeon is believed to have purposely botched open heart surgery on his business partner in order to claim his stake of the business venture.
Columbo.
Okay. And lastly, a psychiatrist who is sleeping with a patient is suspected of convincing his mistress to help him murder his wife.
I want to say Columbo, but I've seen Columbo way too many times. I'm going to go real story.
All right. So, let's go through these. Our first one, the real estate mogul whose wife has mysteriously disappeared is now suspected of murdering his accomplice in the act. You said that was a Columbo episode. This is actually a real story about a murderer named Robert Durst. Who,
Shit, the Jinx.
Yeah.
The Jinx. Oh, man.
No relation to Fred.
Yeah.
But
no.
Robert Durst, yes, that's his story.
He's so charming. He's charming, that Jinx.
Yes, he is. So there's a good guess though. I mean, hey, it sounds like a Columbo episode, right? That's the point.
I think that was almost wasn't that the Johnny Cash episode where he was a rock star? And
Yes. Yes, on the plane. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. Number 2, a Los Angeles judge is suspected of shooting and murdering his wife during a drunken argument. You said real life. That is real life.
Okay.
And it's actually undergoing...
Right now?
Yes, he just recently, as of 6 days ago, pleaded not guilty to that effect. So, keyword is suspected.
Suspected. Please don't sue us.
Please.
Yes.
We don't have anything.
No.
We have
nothing.
We're in my roommate's basement,
Yes.
people. All right, number 3. An automotive executive suspected of murdering his mistress on a cruise ship to keep their affair a secret. You said real life. This is actually a Columbo episode.
I swear this was. I saw this on like 60 Minutes or something.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt that there was some real news story that was happening.
I could have sworn. I remember like mysterious somebody pushed his wife into the ocean and there's like a blood spot.
You know what? That's definitely happened at some point. So I'll give it to you anyway. I was thinking of specifically there's an episode where Columbo and his wife, who's never seen in the episode, are on a cruise, and Robert Vaughn is the killer who sneaks away from a massage. He has this really well-planned scheme to kill her while he's getting a massage.
Is Robert Vaughn number 2 in the Austin Powers movie, or is that someone else?
No, that is Robert Wagner.
Okay.
The one who was married to Natalie Wood
Yeah,
and may or may not have... All right. Yeah, never mind. Let's see. But good work. I'll give you that because you're right. Someone's definitely done that.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 was the sales of an author's new book about the grieving process soar after her husband dies suspiciously. This is a real story.
Was it the one who wrote, like, How to Murder Your Husband?
No,
Okay.
it's a kid's author.
Okay.
She writes this book about the grieving process shortly after her husband dies, actually.
Yeah.
But then it's found out his cause of death was a fentanyl overdose. And that he had been, like, texting family friends, like, hey, I'm kind of worried my wife's trying to kill me. It's not a funny story, but it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah. I think I was thinking of the one Columbo episode with a mystery author what murdered his partner.
Yes.
Yes,
the Steven Spielberg episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that the first one?
Murder by the Book.
Yes.
It is not. There's 2 pilots, and that's the official first of the series.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
correct. Good guess. See, when I read this article headline a few weeks back, because this is a relatively recent story, again, suspected.
Yeah.
I sent this to my dad, and I said, it's a fucking Columbo episode.
Columbo episode.
All right. But yes, that one is a real world one. We'll see how that plays out, I suppose. Number 5, a heart surgeon botching an open heart surgery on his business partner so he can steal their business venture. That is absolutely a Columbo. That is A Stitching Crime, which is one of the best episodes, starring Leonard Nimoy.
All right.
Who is, you're so used to seeing as Spock
Yeah.
and so, like, mild-mannered and whatnot, and he is such a piece of shit in that episode. Oh, just a piece of trash. He even has to kill a junkie that's kind of getting in his way at one point, and he breaks into the guy's house, the guy who's a recovering addict, and breaks into his house and, knocks him out and injects him full of heroin to kill him. Yeah, it's real fucking dark. But yes, that's a great episode. And finally, number 6, a psychiatrist sleeping with a patient is suspected of convincing his mistress to help him murder his wife. You said real life. It's probably happened, but this I did take from a Columbo starring George Hamilton. And actually, the very first pilot episode, Prescription Murder, is very similar too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, nice work overall. Ooh. I hope that was a fun little game.
It was. We should do more Columbo.
I will talk about Columbo all the time.
Maybe we should do like a new podcast just talking Columbo.
We could, but there's a couple there. I've actually listened to one of them, the Columbo podcast. It's very good.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I recommend it. If you watched through the show ever, I liked listening to their episode after I'd watched the show. They're good.
That's cool. Okay, yeah. So that was the episode. That was Ghost in the Shell, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we went into deep thought of what the movie's about.
And hopefully, you come away with it some kind of different viewpoint.
Yes. And hopefully we didn't bore you. So that's a possibility also.
Invite us to parties and we'll talk more.
Invite us to parties,
We'll talk more about what constitutes life.
Yes, and Columbo.
And Columbo.
And now, TJ, it is time to spin the wheel. What is our next movie? Let's find out. Your name! So that's it. I am Mo, and I am still a ghost in a crab shell.
And I'm TJ, and I'm still a hit at parties.
Okay, see you, everybody. Let's have Robert Mitchum play us out. Bye.
Adios.
If you like our show, please comment, give us reviews, rate us, do anything you want to get this show on the map. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on SoundCloud, and many more soon, hopefully. Follow us on Twitter at it_dammit for new episodes, and also follow us on Facebook on our page, It's Soon at Us. Thank you.